Hey everybody, it's Jay from Three Rivers Outdoors, and I'm headed back from gathering up some supplies at the local Walmart. Video today, I'm going to show you how to make one of the best tasting backpacking meals. We all know you can get a Mountain House or the like that's like 90% sodium. I'm going to show you how to make something that is delicious. You can even eat it for supper and then put aside some, and it will be absolutely amazing and reconstitute in an awesome way. So I want you to stay tuned over the next couple segments. The minute I get home, we're gonna get started. Thanks for watching Three Rivers Outdoors. I can't wait to do this video. Basically what we're gonna do today is we are going to make whatever version of spaghetti sauce you tend to like. I like mine to have a lot of flavor, a lot of vegetables in it, and as many calories, I guess, as possible if you were out in the woods, hiking, backpacking, going on your boat for the weekend, or whatever it might be. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you all this, then I'm going to get it cut up, and we will be getting to segment 2 pretty quickly. Here's how I'm going to start. I chose meat flavored sauce because ground meat does not reconstitute very well, despite what some people will tell you. It is sort of like gravel or small rocks, or whatever that cereal is, grape nut cereal. No matter how much milk you soak it in, it's not going to work. And neither does water and the ground meat. So we're going to choose a meat flavored sauce. We're going to use one 16-ounce box of Rotel noodles. We're going to use one large onion, 2 red peppers. I love my mushrooms, so we got a pack of pre-cleaned mushrooms. I'm going to, of course, add some minced garlic. Here we've got zucchini with Italian-style tomato sauce. So this is going to add some flavor, as well as diced tomatoes with green pepper, celery, and onion. And what we're going to do is make this sauce in one of these pots. We're going to actually boil the water and noodles separately and check in with me here in a minute. I'm going to get cutting. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add this into our sauce pot, and we are going to simmer it nice and slow. So just a quick refresher on what we've got. Meat flavored sauce is going to go in first. Should have kept the lid. I'm actually going to let that sit in there for a second and drain. Be a little messy. We're going to add in the zucchini. We are going to add in our green pepper, celery, and onion, flavored tomatoes for nice and thick sauce, 2 cans of that. We are going to add in a healthy amount of garlic because I love garlic, who doesn't? Get all that sauce out of there. And then we are going to add in our mushrooms, peppers, and onions. Carefully, as this is a gigantic pile of them. So we'll slowly add those in. And this pot is going to look as if it cannot hold another single solitary thing, and arguably it can't. But what will be nice is this will cook down to a very nice thick sauce. So I kind of pre-measured this that it would work in this pot. Okay, so as you can see, we've got quite a full pot. Hopefully we're not going to lose anything. And we're going to add some salt and pepper to taste, and that'll be it. So I'm going to put this on the stove and let you guys check in on the simmering process. Hey guys, so here it is, starting to heat up a little bit. Tastes wonderful. I put a little bit of salt and pepper in, and we've actually now got our water set up to boil here. So this is looks really thick right now. As these vegetables cook down a little bit, you'll see that it will definitely take on a more sauce-like consistency. What's going to be interesting about this, because we don't have any meat in the sauce, this is going to be a very hearty vegetable sauce with a little bit of meat flavor, and it will pack a ton of calories and be delicious as well. So again, I'm really excited to make this video because guess what? We're also having a couple servings of this for supper. So check in a minute. As you can see, it's still very chunky, but it's much smoother in texture now. You can actually stir it, and it is absolutely delicious. This has got to be one of the best tasting sauces I have personally made, and I just kind of threw it together. Not like a family recipe or anything, just more of the stuff that I like. So I'm going to check back in here in a few. I'm going to let this simmer just a little bit more so that the onions are nice and cooked, and you'll see me back here in a few. So here's what we did while you were waiting. We boiled the noodles. As you can see, they are al dente. They're still a little firm, but absolutely by no means soggy. And what we're going to do, I've let these sit about 20 minutes. They are fully dry. They're not dripping water. All the water's in the bottom of my pot. The sauce is very thick. And is extremely hot. So what we're going to do now is we're going to let this sauce cool, and we're going to start with the noodles. But before that, we have to check so we know how much water to add back to this concoction. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure portion sizes. This bowl is 2 cups. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take, noodles are still pretty hot as well. I'm going to take loosely, about 2 cups of noodles in my bowl, and that is going to be a portion size. So 1 cup of these noodles has 200 calories, or I'm sorry, 3/4 of a cup is 200 calories. So 2 cups of this should be, I don't know, 450 maybe. 450 calories, roughly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this tray and set that out. But first, I'm going to weigh this. So I have my cheap scale that I got here at Walmart. And what we're going to do is we're going to set this on top of there. And we know that this is now, I'm going to write down here, noodles. It's 13.90 ounces. I'm going to dump this directly on my tray so that they can dehydrate as well as possible. Now I'm going to weigh my bowl, and I know that's 3.80 ounces. So that means that I have 10.1 ounces. We're going to call it 10 ounces of noodles for each serving. So I'm going to consistently weigh 10.1 ounces of these noodles. And I'm going to spread these out. So this is going to be one serving on these noodles. If you give me a sec, I'll be right back. We're going to do the same thing with the sauce. One more quick check-in on the noodles. These trays have kind of like a line that runs down the middle of them. So that's what I use to delineate. They are exactly 10 ounces per side. So interestingly enough, to the very last noodle, didn't lose one, weighs exactly, like to the 1/10 of an ounce. So this should be pretty interesting. So we also know, and as I said, 3/4 of a cup equals 200 calories. So I'm going to write that down, and hopefully we'll put a link in the description with whatever calorie information we can sort of guess on this. Again, it's not scientific. This is something to keep you going and give you some energy. So now we're going to do the exact same thing with the sauce. Now my guess is for a bowl this large of sauce, we're going to need, I don't know, I'm going to say, I'm going to guesstimate here, that's 1 cup of sauce. I like mine pretty saucy. We're going to say 1.5 cups to get started. So 1.5 cups. This says it is 35 ounces for sauce. Now, we know that we have a glass jar that we have to take out. So I'm going to dump this into this bowl. as unscientifically as I can. Now I'm going to weigh the glass. That's 21 ounces. So that is going to leave us 14 ounces of sauce. So for each serving of noodles, we're going to do a sauce of 14 ounces. And I'm going to get the dehydrator ready. So what I have are these. They're a very flexible plastic tray. They're made for the LEM dehydrator. I'm placing each one on a grate for support because they are a little inflexible. I'm taking the 1 3/4 cups of sauce on each of these. Probably shouldn't do it when it's this hot. And I'm just gently spreading it around on each of these trays. And this looks like it is an absolute ton, but it's actually not. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna spoon in. I'm basically putting in 3 heaping ladles. It tends to be like literally almost exact. I'm trying to get as much juice and vegetables in there as I possibly can. And then again, taking this and just sort of gently spreading it around on the dehydrator trays so that we get the most bang for our buck from the standpoint of spreading this out. Get the back of your spoon, do the best. It's not scientific by any means, but spread the sauce around as best as you can. The flatter and smoother it is, the easier it's going to dehydrate on each of these. In fact, I'm going to add just a little bit to this one over here because the other ones visually look as if the tray is full. Again, I'm not trying to be too scientific here. I sort of want to know. Any big chunks you have, cut them up as best as you can. They'll dehydrate better. Now what you're going to do is you're going to have to monitor the performance of your dehydrator. I don't know what size if you do have one. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to take you over to the dining room. We have the dehydrator set up, and we are going to get this taken care of. I've loaded the dehydrator up in a way that is going to get as much airflow in the middle as possible where the fan is. We're literally going to get the, oh, there's my thermos. Been looking for that. We're going to get the front cover, and it literally just sets on to there. There's no snaps, no nothing, and I will get you a shot of the controls and the gauge. So get our dehydrator on, adjust the temperature to 135. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and start. I just want to show you guys a couple of quick things. First, this is what it's looking like, and believe it or not, that spaghetti sauce doesn't look like anything at all. It is for the most part dry. I mean, just to put this into perspective, this was a whole mushroom. And now it is a flake about the size of my fingernail. So here's what we're doing right now. We're taking just a soft spatula because this is kind of like almost like a fruit leather still. And we're scraping it off in what are like good sized chunks, about like that big. And we're laying them flat on a piece of parchment paper, and we're actually flipping them over. And the reason for this is because I made a little modification in my sort of my plan here. They weren't dehydrating as fast as I wanted. I kind of noticed that the underside was still a little bit moist. So what I'm doing again is I'm gonna flip a couple of these big pieces over and just lay them flat. Once we do this, they should only need about an hour left, if an hour, because the thinner pieces are so very dry, as you can sort of see. It's just the areas where the sauce was a little thicker seemed as if it was taking a lot longer than it should. And I could have let it go overnight, but I'm really trying to get this video done because I was kind of excited to do this one. I had a little bit of inspiration from a couple places, so we'll talk about that later. This is what we have, and I'm gonna put this in the link below. The wet noodles weighed 10 ounces. The wet sauce weighed 14 ounces, which is a total of 24 ounces. The dry noodles weighed 3.85 ounces, that's these. And the dry sauce, which is here, weighs 2.15 ounces. So that's a total of 6 ounces. So we determined that what we're missing is 18 ounces of water, which is literally this much water. It's a lot of water. And indeed, 18 ounces is 2 1/4 cups. So that's how much we gave away in the dehydrator. So now what our philosophy is that if we boil water and we allow that water to, we boil 2 1/2 cups of water and we put our noodles and sauce in it, short of a little bit of evaporation, we imagine 18 ounces of water is probably going to be the exact reconstituted amount that we're going to need. Now I've got the water on the stove. It's going to boil here shortly. And the concept is we're going to put the sauce and those noodles in here. This is the size of our entire meal. Flakes and the noodles in the bag. What I'm going to do here, I'm just literally going to empty it into the pot. Spread it out just a little bit. And I'm covering it. I'm going to turn the temperature down from a boil to like a light simmer. And we're back. The vegetables are great. The noodles are pretty tender. I've shut the flame off. Actually, what we're going to do now is we're going to let this just kind of soak for a minute and absorb whatever little bit of water is left. And this is the final product. As you can see, letting it sit for a little while was actually the best thing we could have done. It turned out absolutely amazing. I mean, the sauce is as thick and delicious as the day that we cooked it, which obviously was yesterday. But I can tell you for certainty that this tastes and looks absolutely appetizing. If I was in a situation where this is all I had to eat, I would be pretty happy. So again, everybody, thanks for tuning in to Three Rivers Outdoors. This is an absolutely awesome way for you to, maybe spend some time teaching younger ones about, how to preserve and save some food, or just maybe make it an interesting way to prepare for a backpacking trip. In my last video, we talked a little bit about what it's like as a kid, especially to be excited about the outdoors. I think it carries on as an adult too. There are things that I still find tremendous joy and excitement about, and that's all thanks to my dad for getting me, worked up about going trout fishing or going hunting and telling the stories. I can remember sitting around just getting gear ready was like an absolute treat. It was my favorite thing to do. I could have went and packed and unpacked my tackle box 20 times. I knew every hook, line, and sinker, excuse me, that I had in that box. And to me, that was the biggest benefit. I think my dad instilled in me the passion and desire to want to learn and do new things. And I think that's been really one of the reasons why I've been lucky to be successful at my job, hopefully to be successful raising my son, and to do cool things and hopefully maintain interesting relationships throughout my life, because I like to kind of try new things. So, well, I'm going to sit here and eat my dehydrated dinner. I want to say thanks again for everyone who's tuned in, liked our channel. I got a couple of emails so far, which is really enjoyable. And we hope to do a lot more. So again, guys, thanks for tuning in to Three Rivers Outdoors. And we'll catch you again hopefully in a couple days. Take care.